It's less
Uh,
about survival. It's
yeah,
more about
yeah,
Yeah, that's like,
definitely.
social
yeah.
status.
But
Mm.
when it comes to social status, social hierarchy, right? You would still see the same pattern.
Yeah,
I
of
mean, if
course.
you compare it with ancient culture, there it's
Hmm.
not too different.
Yeah,
Now, whether it comes to media, whether it comes to corporate life, whatever there is, when it comes to being accepted by other people, everything is exactly the same as who we were like thousands of years ago. It's not too
yeah,
different.
it's
Yeah,
extremely hard to change human nature. That's why.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
just the
absolutely.
way things are. And a really interesting point on Joe Rogan's podcast. It was I don't remember exactly who it was with, but it was with a doctor, and he said the reason for people being this way in the modern day and age is because survival isn't the main goal anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's obviously very easy to survive if you're falling behind financially. There's government schemes that can help you,
Yeah.
but the the reason for people being the way they are is generally because, well, now there's different goals in life rather than just survival.
One of my favorite
Definitely.
examples of seeing how societies hasn't has changed is there was some runes found in some like Scandinavian country, and people thought it was like hidden clues to something, or like they'd met aliens or something.
A shopping
And
list or something.
yeah, it was just some guys like chatting to each other, being like, "Hey, you're right. How are you doing?" Just in
Yeah,
this in
there's
ancient
plenty.
language.
Yeah, there's like dick pics found. I don't know. There's photos of stuff like that found. I mean, engravings on walls found somewhere, and yeah, there was like shopping lists. And,
Reptilians. Yeah.
yeah, it's, people don't change really. It's just society that changes people, and especially now people have changed so much due to society. And I mean, because I mean, I don't know, 100 years ago it would have been completely different, and 100 years from now will be completely different too. So that's why, yeah, there's plenty change going on right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's another interesting point you guys brought up just now is like, weird sort of drawings and, engraved writings, right? And also kind of sculptures. So if you look at it, you might be able to, figure out that art was the first language ever existed on this planet, actually. Like we human beings, even before our Homo sapiens, whoever there were. I mean, I don't know who they were because I have yet to, research and study. Probably no one knows, but art was the first communicative language. So
Hmm.
they were
Yeah.
kind of engraving, drawings, kind of objects, right? And they were trying to give probably us. They were trying to, pass down through generations some sort of knowledge through
Yeah,
their
Yeah.
artwork, right? So it
hmm
was there always. And their language, if you try to, I don't know if you're aware of Sumerian, Akkadian, and all those languages. So those
No.
languages are kind of, they're just, every word is denoting some sort of, object. So like a man denotes some sort of sticky figure, and then there's this thunderbolt, like the man went through some sort of thunderbolt to fetch some sort of water. So they were kind of merging all these things together, objects together to
hmm
create one sentence. And some people would argue that they didn't have metaphor back then, but
hmm
I mean, as per my research, up until this point, I kind of understand that they had metaphor, a lot of metaphor, like the analogy everywhere. They were kind of, using objects to express something, some sort of feeling, you know.
Yeah.
Now we don't have that anymore. We have advanced a lot actually in terms of language, but maybe it's an advancement. Maybe we have missed a lot, on the way. I don't know.
hmm Yeah.
Actually, I watched a TV show a while ago
Yeah.
that was talking about how like we write letters and stuff and how it's actually evolved. So we started with like the wall paintings and the wall arts we see in like Aboriginals and
Yeah.
stuff, and then
Mhm.
it moved towards like hieroglyphs, so where they'd
Mhm.
have the symbols and things like that, and then even into our modern like well US and UK British writing. Like an A was supposed to be like a TP, which was home, and
Mhm.
like the word for
Yeah.
home began with an A, so that's how it all like linked back
Absolutely.
together.
Yeah.
But there's
Yeah,
still
it was
plenty different languages and writing types and other things out there. Like different,
Yeah.
for example, Russian letters are completely different to the Arabic letters we use.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
that's just how it worked for English writing anyway. But I'm sure it must be something at least quite similar in different languages. But that's like the creativeness of the people rather than like the evolution. It was
What do you think the next step would be in linguistic evolutions? Do you think everyone would end up speaking one language eventually?
well, I watched this YouTube channel called Modern Rogue. It's really interesting for stuff like this, what we're talking about, and they recently did this thing on, I can't remember the exact name of it, but it was a way to represent really large numbers by using lines in a different pattern. So they look like geometric patterns and shapes and stuff, but they could represent up to like infinite amount of numbers. So I don't know, it could go to lines and things, or it could go back to symbols. I don't know.
Yeah, I
I don't
mean,
know what you think.
it can. I mean, my personal opinion is that it can go anywhere they want it to be. But the
Mm-hmm.
thing is that the main problem here is like creating division, you know? So my personal opinion my personal opinion about, having different languages is like creating division. So when you want to
Yeah,
divide a nation, when you want to defiltrate one nation, you create another language because you
right.
want to confuse this nation and you want to like uh,
That's something that was actually mentioned in the Bible. Yeah,
Yeah.
you
it
want
was
to
meant it
like
was mentioned in the
tear them
Bible that
apart. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
everyone spoke one language until humans did something bad
Yeah.
and God separated them into different languages so they couldn't communicate anymore. Because I mean, if we could
Yeah.
all communicate with one language, life would be a lot easier. So that's to say the least.
And
I think.
if you think
So I
about it,
mean,
that's okay.
sorry.
Keep going.
No, it's all right. Just continue.
Oh, I was gonna say, uh,
Yeah.
it's stuff like negotiations and stuff in like any situation really. People say that, oh, this incident could have been avoided through communication. So actually using our voice and using our language is the best device that we have to put our opinions across and like benefit each other rather than causing conflict.
Could be, yeah, definitely. The thing here, okay, this is my personal belief. Like, for example, you create one community, you work on it many years, okay, and you become an old guy, and then after that, you will see another communities rising up, right? And then you would have this urge to kind of dominate that other community. It's like human instinct, you know?
Yeah, it's human
It's
nature
that
to
that
Yeah.
pack behavior.
kill anything like that's
Exactly.
basically
It was like a
So
tribe.
threatening you.
you would find any means to dominate that, whether it
Mhm.
could be language, whether it could be some sort of weird culture you create, right? It could be anything that kind of makes you any different than the other community.
Yeah, the change.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.